Okay, retirement gives you a lot of time to do things. Even at my age, I still find interest in video games, but I mostly use my time to think. Now that I'm getting closer to my grandfather's age, I really understand why he reminisces so much, which is the point of this video. Reminiscence of life, now that I'm very jobless and retired, there are lots of things that I can think of in life, which namely is the things that I did in my life and why I did it. I can say so much about those things, but I really just want to focus on something a bit more direct. University, um, namely a course I took in my third year, Leadership 4, which I do not know how to do the math about that. Now, the first two leaderships were interesting, but didn't really change my thought process much. The fourth did the same, but really stuck to the back of my mind without me realizing. For it to only come back to me when I needed it 7 years later. So I was working in a firm that was growing pretty strongly at the time, but it reached a little hitch around the time that I got hired, because most of the management at the time didn't really face any consequences for many of the unfair things that they did to their staff. Like to me, unpaid overtime, unrealistic deadlines, blame shifting, like anything you can think a bad manager can do, they probably did it. We're looking for some leadership, but they were really looking back at us. Then one morning, I saw a video that reminded me of the leadership course, which I don't even remember the video, but it made me remember all those qualities that they tried to drill into us. So I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? Why not? These things can be implemented even without the leadership role, which is what they taught us also. And I just decided to just put it into our work, being more open with my coworkers, communicating more, all of that, and it really started to show some improvement to the point where our department had a really nice upturn in our performance, but it came to our own downturns. Um, you can see now that I was definitely jobless for real this time. But as I'm happy to be jobless now, it came to a shock to me right before my 30th birthday. I saw an email that my role had been terminated effective immediately. From what I heard, the CEO heard about the improvements in our department and had my name instead of our managers to commend for the job well done. And I guess he felt threatened. I didn't even want his job. All I wanted was not be miserable working for him. But lo and behold, he decided to fire me, the person that was actually doing the work. So I was lost for a bit, maybe going from job to job. Then a conversation with my uncle really did a good job to put me in the right direction, which made me want to start my own business. Now I got a new job, but with the help of my old co-workers, we put into work the developments for the business idea I've been sitting on for more than a decade. With the knowledge I had from my leadership class and experience leading my department in my own way, I was confident that I could produce productive results. Except at first I didn't. After months of market research, I sat on my work for so long simply because I wasn't sure I was the right person to take the business forward. Now, I had confidence issues, communication issues, attention issues. I was indecisive. Different things that was clouding my mind back when I was 30 something. But after quite a lot of motivation from my uncle, I decided to just go forward with it. And of course, me deciding to go through something wasn't enough. I still had those issues. I had to conquer them. I had to take steps against them. I started speaking more individually to the departments and the individuals in them. It slowly expanded towards them to create that sense of familiarity, to make me more comfortable with speaking with those numbers. Now, I set earlier deadlines for my own work to prevent my procrastination from being an issue. And I had my uncle and other friends, have that time to check in on me, make sure I have objectives so that I can, stay on track. And it did show some improvement, which you will see in the next chapter. Now, I will tell you the context the third chapter in a bit. Leading was hard. It was much harder for me because I was struggling with communication, as I said before. And despite that, after a decade of work, I can proudly say the business is running smoothly and growing at a decent pace, but it has the potential to grow more. I realized that after a company came to me, a decently big company came to essentially acquire the business from me because we're still a private firm. After some assessment, I decided ultimately to just sell the business. It was painful, and I knew I had done well to manage the business as it was, but for it to be great, it needed all the resources and attention that I had neither of. I still stayed to manage the main branch and oversee some of the branches, which I think I did well at. But eventually, my time came to an end when I retired at 60. I still consulted from time to time with a big fee, but I still had that time. I decided to step back and make way for the leadership that we of the new generation that the workers can work better with. looking back, the only thing I regret is not starting this YouTube channel earlier. I didn't think anybody would be interested in a story of a 70-year-old man about business, but it really helped me remember the value in when it came to leading people, when it came to understanding how societies work, how the people work, and how you can work for them, how working for them works so much better than just working or letting them work for you. It lets you accomplish so much and it lets you really move forward in life. And as I'm sitting here in my retirement, at least the reminiscence has helped me remember that.